Welcome back to the Sice Room, where DMV culture, politics, and hip-hop collide. I'm your host, Trey 5, and tonight's episode, we packed with powerful topics, from the tragic shooting involving a 14-year-old to Target's controversial DEI Rollback, and even the internal challenges facing the Democratic Party. Tonight's lineup is definitely one for the books. I got a great panelist group. We really gonna light it on fire tonight, y'all. I hope y'all ready to tune in. Let's kick things off with a tragic case in DC. A 14-year-old boy is now facing felony murder charges after allegedly killing another teen. 14-year-old Myron Smith during a robbery on South Capitol Street. This case raises questions about gun violence and young kids are getting involved in these crimes. Now, panel, am I sicing or are we witnessing a terrifying trend of young violence escalating in our area year after year after year?
I'm lost for words, man. You know, these youngins, man, they just thinking that they don't get no consequences for their actions. So they just doing and doing. So I think he should get what he got, man. You know, because when you put that gun in your hand, you know the consequences. No matter how old you are, you know what's wrong and what's right. And you can't say they don't see nothing on TV. They know what's up. So at the end of the day, man, they gotta get chastised, man.
I think a lot of our kids are lacking mentors, and when you don't have nobody that can tell you and show you what life really look like, you really lost. So anything in your mind is going right, even though it's wrong, but think you're gonna get away with it. So I just think that our youth need more mentors, and it's a bad thing to think about young kids killing each other the way they killing each other. Like they don't have no love, they don't have no principles. So all that matters.
I also know plenty of brothers and sisters, but mainly brothers, man, who went in and really got themselves together. Unfortunately, they had to give away 20, almost 30 years of their life. I don't know if I want my son to have to go through that if he made a mistake. Because it's a lot of influences out here. And sometimes these kids do some things and they regret it at the end of the day. But, I've also been on the other end of that where, when you lose somebody, right? So there's a parent, there's somebody out here who lost somebody. That's never coming back. And then you got somebody else that's going in, who knows for how long. So this a tough one, man. And in our community, we got to look at it a little bit different, man. So this is like generation after generation after generation. It's like, when is it going to stop? So I agree with the first brother, like something has to happen to kind of deter. But then I also agree with the other brother, cousin Wayne, was like, damn if you do, damn if you don't, man. Like these youngers are lost. And when you do that and your life thrown away, it's like, then what? Then what's next, man? Because it's too many of our young brothers is doing this, man. So we're gonna have to come up with something a little bit better than just throwing them to the wolves, as well as what do we do out here in these streets, man, to get them on the right track, So that's a rough one, good man.
As far as the violence that we got going on in our city, it's not even in our city for real. It's kind of everywhere. It's kind of like it's been catching fire, like everywhere, But if we specifically talking about our area, I feel like the youth really don't have no outlets. They don't really have things they can do besides get into some shit. You know what I'm saying? Being around the way, seeing what other people doing, other people pressuring them into doing shit. Them just trying to fit in, trying to be cool. But for other people, things at home might not be good. So you might be that young boy, who ain't got no choice but to hit them streets and try to make some money and do something for yourself, do something for your family, vice versa with the ladies too. But I feel like it got to start from home. But I feel like our government ain't really helping it no better. So it's conflicting, to be honest with you.
Now, it was 3 teens that were caught in a stolen vehicle with 2 guns. They charged with the crime. Do y'all think a 14-year-old shooter should be charged with murder?
Unfortunately, when you got to put them, if the shoe fit wear, you put them big boy pants on. I mean, yeah. I hate to say it like that because I got a daughter that's 14. Would I ever want her to be charged as an adult? Nah. But And you know what type of world we live in. Too like
Can I
right.
can I speak on something? So I got three sons. I got 18-year-old, I got 14-year-old, and I got 8-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell my son all the time, like, man, look, the streets gonna be there. What's out there, you wanna go see for yourself and see what's out there, or you want me to tell you, inform you how I survived it, and and check your chances with doing what I'm doing instead of taking the other route, cause it ain't working. It ain't the same when I was out there. Y'all dying younger and younger. So at the end of the day, I strictly say, man, like the mentorship is what we doing is good. They need more of this needs to be done, and they need to be understanding that we here to help them. Like, like we ain't trying to tell you nothing wrong, man. We trying to keep you from doing those fucked up decisions that's going to end your life or make you be serving some time to the people that don't really care about you. And I think they really less informed about what's really going on. They just listening to that music and got them off that drill, turned up, and turned up. And they got sometimes they guys just realize, like, man, look, you can still be turned up, but you need to know how to move. And like you were saying in your last segment, a lot of them don't even know that they can, when they get at a certain age, 18, they can carry guns legally. But if they didn't make it to that age or make it to be able to even apply for that, and you already got gun charges at the age of 15 and 16. So how you think you going, what you gonna do next? You putting yourself into that trap.
So good man, tell me this though. You said and I agree with mostly what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
but you said you talked to your sons about that, right? You
Mm-hmm.
told them the streets ain't going nowhere. Now let's
Mm-hmm.
just say for my son, I ain't dead. I'm locked up. I'm dead.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't got no uncle. He ain't got no big homie. He ain't got nobody who told him that. And he went down that road. See, I guess that's my challenge right there, right? Because your son blessed to have you. My son blessed to have me. If he don't have me, don't have you, he might got Trey. He might got cousin Wayne,
Mm-hmm.
right? Somebody going, pull him up. But
Mm-hmm.
how many youngers do we know ain't nobody pulled them up? Like
That's good.
nobody. You know what I'm
That's
saying? My pops is gone. I was 10. No man pulled me up on nothing official. Only thing
mm-hmm.
I learned from the men in my life, man, was the stuff that these youngers is going through now. And then the good thing is that, dudes was moving a little different back then. These
Mm-hmm.
youngers, like you said, they turned all the way out. Like that drill got them gone.
Mm-hmm.
However, they don't have nobody who's telling them, man, Slim, this road right here leading to nothing but fire. So if I ain't get that, and then I go out there and I put in some work with that tool,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? It's a slippery slope, man. It's a slippery slope. That's all I wanted to say.
I want us to think about that 14-year-old going to jail. It's going to take him 2 years for him to realize what he just did. And that child can really change his whole life and look at him like, I messed my life up and I'm going to be here for the rest of my life. Like he said, if you don't have nobody around you to try to show you what life really look like, and I blame a lot of the older dudes that always say, oh, I style them youngest way. I don't care nothing about it. I hate to hear that from an older dude because I look at it like nobody, just because somebody didn't care about you, you doing the same thing to that kid that live next door to you. You know that lady got 3 kids and you know she needs some help, but you choose to say, long short to style my way, I'm gonna style this way. We got some sorry men out here that need to be checked, but we don't check them. So you know what? It's sad to say somebody takes somebody's life at that young age, but I know that younger really don't. He feels it when he get in that jail. For a couple of years, he sits there and say, "Hey, I can't even go back out there and do what I want to do no more. My life is messed up." We got to throw some type of sympathy. At the same time, we got to understand that they know what they doing, but they really don't know what they doing when them cups get across on them.
As long as I be in contact with them and be like, man, what you doing today? Send me your resume. Do you know how to do your resume? What type of work you want to really do? See, that's what they need to be understanding. Like, I think if more of us was like this when we see him, we could probably do a little bit more better. But then, like you said, if the next man that they out there that live around their way, the old heads that live around their way that don't know nothing too, because they ain't listen to nothing. They ain't listening to nobody to tell them. So we gonna go to every neighborhood and just start telling them what to do?
I,
Oh
I
yeah.
think I think that is the way we can do. We can't go around there and let the young first. You gotta let the younger know you there because you love them. They don't tell nobody don't tell them young they love them, and that's because You're not my son or you're not my little cousin in the family. I love you because you're a young black little brother out here that I was once out here too, that nobody told me they love me. Show me what love is. These youngers don't know what it is. That's why they don't love. That's why they don't love the jokers around the corner. That's why they don't love themselves because they don't care about what they do. I think I ain't got no problem walking. I don't put me in any part of the earth and tell me I'm going in and I'm gonna engage with them youngins some type of way. And a lot of people scared to walk up. I ain't dealing with them youngins. I'm not scared of none of them youngins. Guess what? At the end of the day, they kids, right? They are
Mm-hmm.
kids. We scared. We got grown men scared of kids. And you ain't got to be tough. And you got to have no gun on your back. But it's about youngers know if you for real or not. They can look in your face and say, "This joker here about he faking." But they
Mm-hmm.
also know when they see a real man come in their face because they don't get to see that many of them. They know
Mm-hmm.
that you stand out from the rest of the dudes. So you must be the real man they talking about. So I think we can go into them neighborhoods and pull them youngers up, ask them what he got going on, just like you said. Pull them up, ask them what your life look like, Shorty, from 3 years from now. What you want to be? What it look like? What safety look like for right now?
I agree. I
Yeah,
totally agree.
that was
So
a great
look,
point.
my son said this too. My 18-year-old one, he caught a gun charge like last year. So I said, man, what? You ain't gotta be doing it. You know what he told me? Man, everybody carry guns. I said, that don't make it right. Cause everybody carry guns. I know that. But you put yourself in these predicaments to where you feel like you gotta carry a gun. Well, you don't really have to do that. So that goes again with Mr. G said, like, we the fathers that's there. And it seemed like to me, like, damn, you don't even take what I'm telling you. You rather go learn out there the hard way. So my words just going over your head. You just don't hear nothing. But I meet another young brother and he'll listen to me like everything.
Some of the ones that got some of the like they kind of take it for granted. So like it'd be like some of the kids that got both parents in their life, they kind of got it smooth. They be the ones that's more so falling susceptible to like the trends and what their friends doing and whatnot. And then the ones that's really struggling out this joint, they appreciate having that positive influence in their life and they, you know what I'm saying, they embrace it more. I can't really say it's a thing at the times because we was jive like that a little bit too, you know what I'm saying? But it's a lot worse now. It's escalated, you know what I'm saying? Because it's social media, internet, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's easier to fall into like the cool shit versus what you've been taught. But I mean, you just gotta kind of stay the path, be active, I guess. I feel you, bro. It's like he ain't saying like he ain't lying about that. That's exactly how that should be.
Now let's switch gears to a controversy that's been shaking up hip hop media. So DJ Akademiks, one of the biggest voices in rap commentary, is facing serious allegations after a resurfaced clip showed him inappropriately making comments to a 15-year-old boy. Social media has been ablaze with celebs and fans alike calling him out. So panel, DJ Akademiks finally addressed the backlash though, calling it a teachable moment. But is that enough? Should media figures like him face real consequences for crossing these lines? Or is it just another example of unchecked power in hip hop?
I say he need his body banged out for doing that.
It's
That's what he need.
This ain't surprising to me coming from the person that's accused, because it's like when people show you who they are, they show you like sketchy behavior. You gotta kind of take them for what it is, but at the same time, he put himself like I ain't see the clip, but he put himself in a situation to where it's not a good look overall. Like you on a stream with, I wouldn't be on a stream with a kid unless it was like some educational or uplifting and related to something in good standing. I'm not gonna be on there talking to a kid as if they're a grown adult, thinking that it's gonna fly. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's today's time or yesteryear or whatever. Either way, that shit is inappropriate, bro. And I ain't surprised by it because he do a lot of inappropriate stuff. He's done it over the years. So it's like people show you who they are, you gotta take them on it.
Actually, you know how you hit the little hashtag and shit sometimes. I actually stumbled across the finding the video that he was on with the little boy. He pretty much was asking the little boy like, he said first he was like, "Hey, what's your address? I'm about to send some girls over there to you." So he's like, "Chill, chill, chill, chill." He said, I ain't with all that, yo. I'm only 15. He said, "What that mean?" He said, "I'm just saying, I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good, bro. Like, you trying to get them some charges." The nigga academic said, "So what? You know what I'm saying? The thing is, regardless if you was playing with the boy, you was trying to quote unquote give him a teachable moment, like you were on live, brother. You don't talk to no shit about no stuff like that with no child, with no underage child at that, especially that a child that you do not know. It ain't cool with no child. Let me clear that out right now. I don't want to get it confused with nobody. But at the end of the day, that's more so that's more of some private stuff. You know what I'm saying? That ain't your son. So why the hell you talking to him about women? That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's where to me it got kind of weird.
The apology was some bullshit, and like we said, all this tie into what some men ain't meant. And you know what I'm saying? That they carry themselves like goofies. And he been like that way for all this time being out here. So at the end of the day, they looking for clout, they looking for views. He think that's gonna get him some good publicity. Like, you know what I'm saying? But now he gonna be talked about. They don't really care no more. They don't care about what people saying about him. They don't care about how others are viewing him. I'm sure he probably got kids himself too. So at the end of the day, they ain't even thinking. Why are you? It's a 15-year-old on the live. Why are you even accepting to any talk to him? Unless y'all was talking about some gaming and all that. That's the only thing I can see him doing. So like we said, look what they got to look up to.
Ain't too much for me to even say on this one, to be honest with you, boss. What I will say is, going back to that first thing that we talked about, man, is especially for our youngins, like back in the day, the word star was what you use to guide yourself. So if you was lost, you followed the star, right? These days, our stars, man, are guiding our youngins in the wrong way. They represent the wrong thing. And that's really all I can say about that. You know what I mean? Like, we just got to just check your youngins, educate your daughters, your sons, everybody, man, on like who they choose to be their stars, who they choose to be the people who guide them, because that's what our stars do, man. And this situation is really not a lot for me, a brother like me, to speak on, to be honest with you, because things like this is really beneath all of us, man, for real, for real. But it's terrible that we even have to have this conversation. But just watch who you choose to be your stars, man. That's what I got to say about that.
Very disheartening, man. The little 15-year-old boy though, man, you'll give him 100 hand claps because the way he carried himself during that situation
Facts.
really made it worse on the adults, man, because the little boy really made them look like mad crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I do think that's a big thing that goes on in our culture. I think a lot of people don't like DJ Akademiks, so they call him out. But I think that's it's an issue in our culture, period. As far as grooming, as far as sexualizing men and women too early, pushing them out onto each other. You know what I'm saying? All those type of things. Indulging in little girls having these real fanatic crushes on grown adult men, and young boys the same. I think that perpetuates a lot of this lifestyle. So yeah, it definitely got called out on the big stage. Akademiks got caught slipping, man, trying to be funny, trying to be cool, thinking it was cool to try to groom a young boy, and it definitely backfired.
But this is the other side of it. Is he going to really actually be held accountable for what they calling him out with? 'Cause, like, we got this fake cancel culture that we've had for the last few years, where it's just like an uproar or outrage about something, and then a month or so later, everybody's right back to basics. You know what I'm saying? Like I alluded to a little early, like he's been up to shenanigans. Maybe not this extreme, but he's been up to shenanigans and pushing certain narratives for years. Like his whole come up was off the
In
war in
Chicago,
Chirac. You
yeah,
know
the
what I'm
war in
saying?
Chirac, man.
That's when I first got abreast of him, and then he just rolled that wave into like all things negative, and then he attached himself to the
And to
fact
Dr. Majid's point, man, like no matter what we say, man, we made him famous, man. We
yeah,
we we watch them, man. We click on them, man. We have to really be mindful of the people that we put on these pedestals, the people that we idolize. Even for the people that say, because even me, I don't idolize them, but I've clicked on it before. I've clicked on this stuff, and it's like we got to just be mindful of even that, just not supporting anything that's detrimental or negative. You know what I'm saying? Just to get a little bit of gossip or get a little information on a situation. The source of the information does mean a lot. PG County crash leaves 3 dead. Driver faces 30 years in prison. So this hits close to home for me and a lot of people that's in PG, man. A tragic car crash killed 3 former standout athletes, and now the driver, Corey Klagman, is facing 30 years in prison for reckless driving and DUI. Now, panel, am I Sicing, or is reckless driving or an issue? And is ignoring these type of behaviors, all of us getting drunk after clubs, go-go's, and allowing our family members to drink and drive and perpetuating that type of lifestyle. We really, really took a big L this time around. There's a lot of people that I know that take that L a lot in life, man. And what I want to ask the panel is, was Miss Clodman too close to the victims? Having attended high school with them, does that change how we view her accountability as them being friends, coming from a party together, as everybody had somewhat say so in the situation, even though she was the driver? And what can we do as a community to address reckless driving and DUIs before more lives are lost in our community?
Hold your friends accountable. Hold your friends accountable. When you leave out this house and y'all out doing what you doing or whatever y'all doing, cause I got 21-year-olds, 22, like they outside doing their thing, they driving and everything. But at the end of the day, you gotta know your limit. You gotta know you shouldn't be drinking and driving, because I tell them all the way, man. Look, I had this DUI, I had this DUI. Look, it don't end up well. Either you're gonna be paying a lot of money, or you're gonna get caught up with happening to baby girl, and even though she was friends with the students and all, it's the whole simple fact of you playing around with your lives. You playing around with other people's lives. You can't take it for granted. Even though you think you got it, you don't got it. So that's what a lot of them don't understand, and they need to be educated on that. So it goes down to back to what we really saying, what we talk. We gotta teach them better than what they see.
We gotta be big on like how we teaching people, like who you pick to be in your circle, like even the older people that you pick to be in your circle, man. And I really want to commend you first of all, though, Trey, man, because I didn't know really what to expect, what type of topics, and I was prepared to listen and be involved in whatever you had to speak about, man. But there's some solid stuff, and I hope a lot of parents and mentors is listening to this and gonna feed this information back to the youngest, man, because we need to have conversations about real life stuff. You know what I mean? Everything in our community don't have to be on no ignorant stuff, man. Need some solid conversations that need to be around our dinner table. So I just want to say that I commend you for this, and just understanding that, man, we got some real stuff going on, man, and we gotta be careful of who you have around you, because that energy that you have around you will lead to stuff like this, man. So that's a deep topic right here, man. So I truly appreciate this.
Thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, values and discipline are important. At the end of the day, we human, so we ain't perfect. We tend to like to have fun. We tend like to relax and you know lay back a little bit. But when it comes to going out and having drinks and being under the influence, we got to remember that we gotta stick to our moral compass. We gotta stick to our moral compass, and we gotta have that person that we could depend on. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to really depend on yourself, but it's good to have a backup who's a second brain, so that way, they could be like, look, man, nah, you done had a little bit too much. It's time for you to chill. I'm driving home. Don't worry about all that. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you know, being mindful is very important, and considering others, especially if you really care about them. That's the goal, you know. So that's what I gotta say on that. And as far as also being friends, not being friends with somebody, like that really don't really determine your responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? We all adults. So I don't feel like that's a main factor. You know what you're doing, you know exactly what you're doing. So remember who you're around when you know exactly what you're doing. If you can't handle what you're doing, don't do it.
Yeah, I was listening and following along. My opinion, I agree with what's already been voiced. We do need to hold people accountable, our friends, family, even complete strangers, because we all have been out and seen people or overheard people who have no business being behind the wheel talking about I'm going here, going there, or whatever. We know they don't have no business being behind the wheel. We kind of are far removed, desensitized of the fact that like them getting on the road could affect someone else, affect ultimately affect us also. Like it could come back to us. Someone that we care for could be affected by this person being on the road. So we really have to have that in perspective, have conversations about it, of course, so that we all are in the same accord of just being mindful and living, I think it was mentioned, being morally correct. So I agree with what was already stated.
First and foremost, it's a sad situation, obviously. Hopefully, it teaches, it's a teachable moment for somebody else in the future of how to, like one of the guys alluded to earlier, you know, having somebody in your circle that's going to, look out for you when you ain't looking out for yourself. Even though you're supposed to look out for yourself first, be responsible, be accountable. Somebody should have took the keys, or everybody was pretty much on the same wavelength. So it's like we gotta like be accountable, like everybody said, as far as instilling these types of messages into our kids, showing these type of examples so that they know that this can happen to them as well as anybody else. Give them safe practices like Uber, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, to try to prevent these types of things. Unfortunately, drunk driving is something that happens very rampantly in our area. So it's like getting ahead of that message of just, you know, you can go out, you can have fun, but don't drive, so to speak. Take a Uber, have a designated driver, try to reinforce safe practices so that we can try to get ahead of these things from happening in the future. But like I'm looking up articles and they just said there was another drunk driving joint with a lady the other day. So yeah, these are things we gotta address as a whole entire community because it affects everybody.
Yeah, it definitely did, man. She faces 13 charges, including DUI and vehicular manslaughter.
Hey Trey,
Yes, sir.
I think too when they go to these clubs, these DJs, they know people be drinking a little too much. They need to start announcing, say something like people come to spending their money in there to listen to you, play your music, and also to drink and have fun. But a DJ should say, hey, if you got a little too much to drink, make sure you got your partner that ain't drink too much. Take you home. Like announce it to start going out there. And another thing, I wish they gave breathalyzers for free, so a person can really say that I'm a little toe up. If your level is this, you need to get your Uber. Like you can be with your man and he'll say I'm good. My man will say I'm good. I'm good. But let's say Slim, take this right here. And if it come more than what they say, nah, we ain't driving, Slim. I think they should give Jones out free, the same way they give out rubbers free. So if they want to make sure we safe, make sure we safe.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Or
but
look,
yeah, like
even maybe the
hold your
club have
man.
a Uber promotion or something, man. Where you put whatever club you at, you put a discount code to get a discount from Uber or something, man. Something got to happen. Something got to
Give out,
shake.
give out some
Yeah,
more water instead of all that damn liquor.
Hmm.
Man, because the liquor cutoff is not enough because those people be chugging those shots before it's done for.
but even I mean, know your limit, man. Just know your
That's
limit.
you
You know
do,
what I'm saying?
bro.
Know your limit because it's like people get. I get it. You're having fun, and it really only take one drink. You know what I'm saying? You be feeling good 1 second, and you take a couple sips or hit the J or whatever, and then next thing you know, it's you gone. You know what I'm saying? But like hold your circle accountable. If you see your man's looking like he off his rocker, you know what he looked like when he off his rocker. You know what I'm saying? Step in and be a good friend or what have you. But at the same time, know your limit, man. Don't put somebody else in a situation to have to take your keys, and you a grown ass man at the same time, or woman.
Man, I say, all right, now we talk those teenagers that was talking about that. Now we talking about grown-ups. All right, as grown-ups, you should know. All right, we going out Friday. I'm catching the Uber. You going out with your peoples? Hey, such and such be getting lit. Hey, he don't need to drive. He could be the one that say, "Man, give me my keys." Look, none of that. That's what you gotta install that to your younger ones too. Like, look, hey, know who you around, so y'all can have a whole plan of what y'all need to do when y'all go out, so y'all can get back home safe. That's the main key.
Carpooling, we don't care what it is. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
because they don't know because they ain't been through it. We got the experience of having the tickets and the DUIs and having to spend, you know what I'm saying? they don't have that experience. This is their first time, so that's a good point. You gotta like instill that message. You gotta drill it in there. They be listening too. They be, you know what I mean? They act like they don't listen or they get annoyed or what have you, but if you drill it in enough, it's like a default thought process for them when they do end up in these situations.
Before we move on, we definitely want to send a prayers to Justice, man. Justice is a dear friend of mine. Her and her daughter got into a tragic car accident on Christmas from a drunk driver, man. Luckily, her daughter only came out with scrapes, but Justice, man, she got a broken neck, legs, a bunch of other stuff. She definitely was a great person in the community. She showed up for me on my peace walk. She always invited me to her stuff. She definitely would have been on here. You know what I'm saying? We just want to give our prayers to her. I'll probably include her GoFundMe and all her information on the episode for anybody that want to help her. She's definitely in good spirits, man. Everybody follow her, show her love at Just Justice. So next we got Bipartisan Breakdown. That's where we talk about subjects from each aisle, the left and the right, the Dems and the Repubs. And we just try to figure out a way to mask the scale in the conversation in our community, to bring forth our information and other information, to keep everybody in the loop, because it seems like in our culture, we only in the loop come election time. So we want to be able to keep conversations going as presidents get elected, while presidents get elected, before presidents get elected, and also keep these conversations on our home elections. Now, let's turn our focus to the Democrats. After setbacks in recent elections, the party is facing leadership disputes and an identity crisis. Without a clear frontrunner, the party is struggling to redefine itself. Panel, is this eternal chaos a sign of weakness, or could it pave the way for fresh leadership and new ideas?
It's a sign of both. I mean, first off, I guess a disclaimer is I'm not like a overly political person. I don't think either party has like the minority interest at heart. Um, but the Democratic Party needs to definitely have an overhaul, a reboot, and make good on what they say they care about, what they campaign on. So every time they get the vote of the minority vote or what have you, they never make good on their promise, and that's why I believe we have this back and forth with that's why Trump's backing off, because they lost faith in what they sold everybody on. So they definitely need a reboot. They need some fresh young blood in there, and they need to make good on the promises they campaign on, or we're gonna have this never ending cycle, so to speak.
The situation that we dealing with when it comes to politics, I don't really be into it like that myself because I feel like it's a circus. It's a circus act, you know. I feel like they do it just for the benefit of us, just to try to show us something. Because the whole time they spin the news their way, they spin every story their way, and just to try to keep us off of the main point. As far as Trump getting in there, a lot of people are twisted and they're conflicted with how they feel about that. Um, I feel like he really trying to focus on like more so trying to benefit our country as far as like when it comes to foreigners and different stuff like that. Because I feel like they abused it. You know what I'm saying, by them able just to come over here or however they set it up and make money and open up businesses, and that's taken away from the people that's been here. But at the same time, if the government, you know what I'm saying, did what they supposed to do from the beginning, they wouldn't have to worry about us feeling some type of way about them not doing what they supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So now a whole nother side, a whole nother different space of people coming in here, and now you want to try to put them out so it can benefit us. I don't believe that. I really don't believe that. You know, that's why I say it's a circus act. You know, so I'm conflicted myself. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about it, honestly. You know, so it's like, is it going to benefit us as a people, as us, or is it just supposed to benefit them?
I work for the government, so all right. So me and my wife she does like a little bit of the DEI bill and all that stuff, so she's going through hell. At the end of the day, I say it's all scare tactics. And he says he wanna make the government smaller, the federal government smaller. All right, yeah, we got a lot of older people that's probably need to retire and all that, so you're gonna push them out and everything. That's what I think he's trying to use that type of thing. But to me, I say under my contract it's not affecting me, so I'm really not, I don't really not care. But to other people, like they all stuff that's flying around about child support stuff and all, like the social media going crazy with the information that's being led to our youth, that's being led to everybody. Like my daughter called me, she in college. Dad, Trump said this. Trump. I said, listen, baby girl, do your research. You got to do your research. You got to do your diligence. You got to know what impacts you, and if this affects you, understand the rights and the laws that the bills that they're trying to sign off, and do your research. Don't listen to what social media say. Don't listen to TikTok. Don't listen to what people get up and start talking, saying this and saying that, because they really don't know the truth either. So at the end of the day, everybody in the law. Until you really sitting in those seats where they making those signing those bills and they saying what they're saying, and we gonna let this go. A judge just said, "Oh no, we ain't gonna let him do this." It's just like, he gonna do it, we gonna do it, he gonna do it. Is he gonna do it? Is he not gonna do it? He said he gonna do this. Everybody's going in chaos, like in the rat race. They looking all, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, let's see how it play out. Stay focused on your immediate family, and let them be known what's going on.
Respect. So this deep for me when we start talking about this politics stuff, man. And I'm blessed to know a little bit about a little bit, but absolutely realize that I don't know nothing, man. When I think about Democrats, Republicans, all this type of stuff, I only got a couple things to say. Number one is, no matter who's in office, no matter who would have won the office, our agenda ain't never been in it, right? The Black agenda, African American agenda has never been in the office. So until we get to a point where we start realizing that, I don't care what anybody say, how much people want to hate America, people want to hate what happened to us, all that type of stuff. I agree to a certain extent on all of that right there. But the truth of the matter is, we are Americans. We help build this country. We here. You go to another country, the majority of them, you're going to be pressed to come right back to this one. It's time for us to come together and create kind of our own thing. Am I saying create our own party? Nah, but create our own agenda. Everybody got an agenda but us. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody has an agenda but us. And I don't want to get into every little sect of people who got agendas, but tell me, what is the African American agenda? What's the Black agenda? So is the Democratic Party weak? All the parties are weak, right? When it comes to us. But when it comes to the people who have an agenda, they strong. Because those are people who voting them in. Those are people who having these backdoor deals, all this other type of stuff. So as the brother just before said, we got to start educating ourselves and seeing like what's going on. What's happening right now is exactly what happened in the 1980s. The exact same thing that happened, right? When they destroyed the middle class. That's happening right now. And then when you really study at what's going on and how all of these little wars, how they play in, you know what I mean? And we hear about the big wars. You don't hear about the wars in Congo. You don't hear about some of these other wars that's happening in some of the other Western African countries and stuff like that. Because we ain't educating ourselves to realize what's really going on. America is no longer the superpower that it used to be. So it's not about Democratic Party. It's not about Republican Party. It's about agendas, man. You know what I mean? And they keep throwing these things out here and they blinding the hell out of us, man. And all of us is just like, it's fitting into this little box that they put us in because we ain't got no agenda. When we come together as Black people with an agenda, watch how things change, man. Watch how things change. And then you can start realizing what party that you in, because I don't care who at the White House. My agenda, your agenda is not at the White House. It was not going to be no matter who won that, because we ain't together and we ain't got no agenda. So that's my take on it. And if we want to really break it down, like, come out to some of the stuff that we talking about, because we really talking about what's really happening and how everybody is blind as ever about what's going on in America right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's our country. We got certain things that we deserve, but we ain't demanding nothing because we ain't got no agenda. So that's what makes me sick about it. So I'm more big about building with brothers, sisters like y'all, building our agenda, putting our agenda out there, because this whole world is waiting on us to step up. You know what I mean? And the only person that ain't stepping is us. So
Look, I'm excited, just agreeing. Look, I'm in a complete agreement with what was just said. What was said. I agree, like staying focused on like issues that address our families and then also ultimately our communities. Because yes, our family is very important, but our families are in these communities, so we do need to be mindful. But the Black agenda got me so excited because I'm so anti all of this because the Black agenda is not properly addressed. It's brushed over. It's mentioned just for a little bit of traction, because it can be trending at times. But the real issues are not properly addressed. It's really going around and around, looping and looping and looping. We talking about the same things, and nothing has changed. And it really is put into our hands. Like I really don't even follow a lot of the governmental issues per se, unless they do directly affect myself or my community, because of the fact that it's not in support of what I'm in support of and what is necessary. Honestly, once there's a shift within the Black community, the world goes up. We're the ones who actually laid the foundation to what we see now. So just imagine, with everything being established, if we were to take up a higher stance within society, what the world would look like. So amped up, but the Black agenda is my focus. I'm not really concerned about this extra stuff.
I definitely want to ask everybody just one part of, say if we all was the collective, right? And we was, writing it out, what would we all add to our agenda that Dr. Majid was alluding to? And two, do we, I know y'all, seem like y'all not that into politics, but I know y'all everybody pretty much voted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one candidate as of right now that y'all feel like would be the replacement for Kamala Harris next round.
I'm gonna tell you an underdog candidate ain't nobody talking about, man. The governor of Maryland, man.
Nah,
Jeremy.
man.
Yeah, let me tell you why though. Because number one, he understands that he don't necessarily got to play the game, right? But he does know enough, whereas though he don't come across like it's a couple light skinned people wouldn't mind walking down a dark alley with him behind them, right? You need that, right? But he also understands that like it don't have to be a handout. We got too many of our black politicians that think that the only way for them to stay in office or for them to be in office is for them to keep giving us handouts. You understand what I'm saying? That is not what we need as black people for real, for real. We need to have that step up. So we need somebody to understand the most beautiful parts about the Republican Party and the most beautiful parts about the Democratic Party. And he has it. He got the look, he got the education, he got the understanding, he got a black queen that's rocking with him. You understand what I'm saying? Like I like him, you know what I'm saying? But he gonna need some strength behind him, and strength comes in numbers. So what you said is who voted. You understand what I'm saying? I'm a DC boy, Ward 7, where 10% of people came out and voted. 10%. It's 85,000 people in Ward 7. Yeah. 8,000 came out and voted. It's like this is stuff we got to really have a conversation about. The ignorance that's coming up in our community is on a whole nother level. But guess what? I can't be mad at my brother or my sister for not voting. Because guess what? They don't know what the agenda is. They don't know what the agenda is. How you gonna that's just like saying I played the number. No one told me what the number was though. You don't know if you won or not.
I don't
You
know if I
feel what
want
I'm
a
saying?
$17 or
You don't
17.
know. We so green because we choose to be, man. Our poverty mindset and our apathetic mindset has been crushing us, man. And that's what's been going on with us. So we need somebody who's gonna be able to step up, but it's hard for us to have a leader to step up because when we do, we crush our leaders. We don't
Hey
support
Doc,
our leaders, man. And that's what this one of them topics for me, Trey, man. So I gotta be careful because I'm
mhm.
telling you, man,
Hey, shoot it
our
off.
agenda is
This,
gone, man. Our
Hey
agenda is
I'm
Doc,
gone,
telling
bro.
you, this is what
Yeah.
that we need to build.
hey Doc, hey, I'm gonna look. See, I do your better your black life. So man, with this thing that it's like this. If you better yourself, you're gonna enrich to better the next person. And so that's what the agenda can start. It starts with us. Like you can say, and he can say, and she can say, and Trey can say, but we gotta tell it to the next one. We gotta show the next one, and the next one gotta show the next one. And that's what I think we need to get back to. Once ourselves know ourselves, Then we can start moving like, all right, I know what I know. I know that you can't tell me this. I know what you showing on TV that ain't what it is y'all trying to take it away for something else. But if they don't know, and they don't know the history of their real self and who they are and what we stand for and why they want to corrupt our mind and why they want to put the shares over us and say we
Yeah.
can't and take away all this from us. Because at the end of the day, they see us a lot. It is a lot of good minds and a lot of great men and women that can impact and show everybody that, hey man, we've been leading this for real.
But
But if
Ty,
they don't know what it look,
hey, Ty, I hate to cut you off, but guess what you just said? That's so powerful, bro. And this is just another conversation for another day, of course, Trey. But you just talked about us building each other up. One of the problems I had with our black leadership is there's no succession plan. Our leaders would rather die in office than bring the next man up. You understand what I'm saying? When you look at some of the greatest leaders and the greatest movements in our time for African Americans, it's always been youth, right? You know how old Malcolm was when he got
Talk
killed?
about it.
He wasn't even 40 yet. You understand what I'm saying? Some of our greatest leaders, they was young men. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm Muslim, but even if you think about a Christian and they talking about carrying a cross, the cross is meant for you to think about this heavy object. You gotta have young knees to carry that cross, man. Too many of our old heads keep trying to stay in the game too long, right? Because guess what? All y'all, I'm older than almost everybody on here, but guess what? All of y'all unks now around the way. You feel what I'm saying? I'm the big unk around the way. We gotta have a sister on here. She gotta be the one to rock. But are we willing to pull her up and let her be on top of things, right? Let her do what she's supposed to do. We don't do that. We have no succession plan, man. And I tell people all the time in our community, what do you call an old basketball player? A coach. So get in your position and start coaching and start letting these youngins come out here and let them feel like they know what's going on. That's how we're gonna take back our politics. Our youngins is not involved. They don't even care because they don't feel like they're a part of that. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about, man. You feel me?
Politics is politics is it's a game in itself though. You know what I'm saying? So they don't pass the torch because they part of the hustle. They eating.
Respect.
So they don't want to bring the youngest in because the youngest coming in with more fury and passion. They still on the path. It's just like we was having a conversation about the police last week. I think we were saying how they'll come in with a good heart and they want to make change or what have you, and then they get part of the badge and the blue, and then that mindset go right out the motherfucking window, and then they just start turning the other cheek or they get deflated and they get tired. That's how politics is. You know what I'm saying? You come in wanting to do all of the right stuff, and then you get beat down by the system because the system ain't meant to do the right shit. So it's like that's why they don't pass the torch because they don't want the young blood coming in messing up the play. They all part of it. I got my own feelings on Westmore because I'm in the cannabis industry, and he just submitted multiple bills that is very detrimental to small businesses, hemp licensees, and legacy players or what have you. It's very restrictive. And Maryland is an MSO state. We don't have a lot of homegrown brands in the cannabis industry. All of the licensees are multimillionaires from other states. That's what an MSO is, a multi-state operator. Most of the licensees in Maryland are MSO. So I got my own feelings on that. I'm not going to like rant off on it about it. But like that's just the insight on why they don't pass the torch to the young blood.
Y'all definitely hit it on the nose because that's definitely what I was hoping that the conversation segue into successions and things like that, because we do have an issue with that. A lot of people had an issue with Kamala Harris just getting put into the position, them not having a real actual, process of nominating a leader. And we just wondering what's going to happen in the future on that side of town. You know what I'm saying?
They pushed her in that situation. They were sticking with Joe. And every sign showed that Joe was not the right answer. He didn't do nothing that he said he was going to do that got him elected. And then he was sitting up there looking like a robot, glitching out on national TV, and everybody could see that he ain't really capable of running, let alone finishing his term. And they still chose not to go with Kamala. They went to her at the very last minute, so that lets you know they had no succession plan. They were going to ride it out and just hope that we were just going to go along with it.
Which a lot of
So
people did, you know what I'm saying? For right and maybe uneducated reasons. But I just think I believe in a democracy, man. I believe in, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying, having elected people, seeing them battle it out, seeing them, you know what I'm saying, a battle of ideas, civil conversation, you know what I'm saying, heated debate, and saying just who got the best ideas, man, who stand on it, who got better resumes and credentials, and who can explain the future better. I'm definitely a fan of that. So
But
with us,
we don't live in a democracy though. So we got to stop throwing that word around there like that because and that's a part of. And let me tell you, the only thing I respect a person like Trump for, right? Obama was the first president to use social media, right? Trump
Mhm.
took it to a whole nother level, right?
Mhm.
So the images that you see, you know what I mean? Him making you feel uncomfortable with our Hispanic brothers, right, and sisters. That's number one, right? With him making you think that jobs are gonna come back. He put all these walls up, all these things like that. A democracy is when the government actually makes sure that things go as they're supposed to. It creates a certain equal playing field so that people just can't take them. This ain't been a democracy in a long time under
Nah.
Democratic rule, not just under Republican rule. So we want to stop throwing that word around there because people really hear that word democracy and they think fair. Ain't nothing fair about this whole process, bro. Because we ain't never had a seat at the table. Let's start there. You understand what I'm saying? And we lucky if we get to serve somebody that's at the table. So a democracy means you got a seat at the table. So I just want to throw that out there, man, because we use that word and Trump and them been using that word. The boy is vicious because the people around him, they use social media, they use all these little apparatuses that we got, man, to control the way that we think. You know what I mean? And once a person put a narrative out there a whole bunch of times, man, or you this, you this, you this, it's just like how we do with our kids sometimes, man. We keep telling our kids they bad, they bad, they bad. You sit around like, man, I know I'm bad now. So they gonna tell you, we this, we that, man. Like they've been fooling us, man. We gotta wake up, man. We literally gotta wake up, man, because that boy, he bad with them words, man, them images, man. So y'all just what the old people used to say, believe none of what you hear and half of what you see, man.
Man,
This who they
what?
be talking about, this dude. He is the poster child for that. Believe nothing what you hear and half of what you see, man.
now let's talk about the Republicans. President Trump's executive orders are making headlines from military policy, changes to bold national security moves. Let's unpack some of the most impactful orders he signed so far. So, removal of DEI programs from the military, reinstatement of service members discharged for vaccine refusal, ban on transgender individuals serving in the military, development of American Iron Dome missile defense system, withdrawal from the Paris Agreement, and also he said he'll release the documents of JFK, RFK, and MLK. So, panel, what you guys think about these executive orders?
He's snitching. He hot. He want to talk about all that. Man, man, he get up that joint and get to say, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna tell this, I'm gonna sign this, and I'm signing this, and we gonna sign that. Man, look, I said it the first time. It's all scare tactics. Some of that stuff going, it's gonna hold for a couple months, but come on, man. He the one that sent everybody home for that pandemic, right? Now he want everybody back in office. It's just to me, it just seems like it's a big plot about to happen. And it's just, we're gonna do this for now. We're gonna show that I'm doing this. I'm gonna show that I'm signing this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Then at the end of the day, everything gonna go back like something gonna happen that they ain't gonna be able to come to work again. Cause the buildings that I be in, they ain't even up the code for people to be coming in at a capacity that they trying to do.
Mess around and find out. That's how I feel about it. Everything he campaigned on, he's actually at least attempting to do. Now, will he be able to actually pull off everything? No, we do have this due process in our country or what have you. So he's not going to be able to do everything, but he's definitely showing the intention of fulfilling all the promises that he campaigned on. I feel like Trump 2.0 is a much more determined person, where the first time around he was just screwing around. He was just doing stuff because he wanted to do something. Now he knows how to actually do the job the way he wants to get stuff done. So he's like way more intentional this time, and we just gonna have to see what happens. The what was one of the executive orders? The JFK. MLK RFK release, I was pretty happy about that. I mean, we all kind of know, but to have it unsealed, that was major. I feel like that was a ploy to kind of divide the country because everybody's now complaining about one of the executive orders or another, and he has a vendetta out against the feds personally because they prosecuted him. So a lot of this stuff is out of spite. So yeah, a lot of it will not stick, but it's just the thought process behind tying the system up and then like kind of knocking it apart and rebuilding it in his image, which would be a dictatorship for his buddies to lace their pockets or what have you. This mess around and find out. You know what I'm saying? They voted for it, they got it, and now here we are. That's my Trump thoughts.
So look, so I just heard my man say when I came in, pause. I heard him basically talking about the Kansas City Shuffle. Y'all know what the Kansas City Shuffle is. When somebody doing the trick over here, but right here they going in your back pocket, stealing your wallet. And that's what Trump doing. Like, he gonna give the people one thing, right? And so now all these goofy niggas that voted for him or that supported him, now they can say, well, look, he releasing the JFK, MLK documents. Well, unless he about to talk about how the CIA and the FBI colluded, and unless he about to say that George Bush Sr. was the head of the CIA at the time, or at least the operations, unless he going to talk about how he mysteriously retired from the CIA, went and became a millionaire in Texas, came back and became the president, we don't really need to have these. I mean, when is he going to really release? But if he do want to get back at the DOJ and the feds, he absolutely will release some shit that shows just how many people that they did kill that was in power, so he can support the fact that they tried to kill him. That's going to be his claim to that, right? But the meanwhile, while he's doing that, there's 2,000 immigrants that he done stuffed on a jet plane and sent to God knows who knows where. Look, I got to walk around with my wallet. I don't want them to think I'm Haitian or Jamaican or some sort of nigga eating cats and dogs and shit, ship me off somewhere else. It's to the point now where you got to have your papers with you like this is slavery days. And it's really interesting what's going on. But like you said, it's not surprising. It's what you, I mean, look, y'all want to fuck around and find out. You wanted to roll the dice. Oh, nah, he ain't really going to do that. Meanwhile, half the people that voted for him, y'all going back to work. The people that's doing all this shit, they done cut foreign aid off. People that's going out for grants, funding. Shit, you got Medicaid, you got food stamps. Any of this shit can be affected, and it will be affected. It's going to be affected. People were saying, oh, well, look, he's stopping the wars in Ukraine and Palestine. They cut off foreign aid to all of that shit, saying it ain't our problem. So the reality is, this is already what they said they was going to do, and now they just doing it. And so we got to kind of sit back, not sit back and watch, but sit back and we strategize, mobilize. Look, we can't even decide if we're going to boycott Target because the bitch got her Caesar salt in there. Now, I like her. She smiles all the time, say, hey, guys. And she talk real weird like that, and everybody, like, she's a real sweet lady. But when her money was about to be jeopardized, and it was either money or principle for your people, she said, fuck my people, I'm trying to sell Caesar salt, right? And so we can't figure out how to move past that. You think if I come on TV and say, fuck these kikes and this and that, you think one of them Jews gonna be like, well, he do got a good podcast. I do like his music. Let's still support him. Hell no. They gonna ban the government and decide how to get me the fuck up out of there like they tried to do with Kanye. Shout out to Kanye, he back to the billionaire club on his own, right? Seemed like Sway did have the answers all along. And we got to follow that right there. The blueprint is we, instead of complaining, bitching and moaning, talking about what they're going to do, they doing what they're going to do. That time has come and passed. There's nothing we can do about that. But we need to figure out, what are they doing? What's advantageous to them? How we get in on that? How we get a cut of that? And how we take the proceeds and the profits from all of this stuff we doing and build our community up like it should have been. Right? Like it should have been. They trying to fuck us over. We know what they doing. People saying, we don't need DIE or DEI. We don't need DEI. That's just like welfare. No, the fuck is not. The reason why we had to have DEI in place is because the disparities between black, brown, and these white people, right? So it wasn't like everything was equal, then they gave us some helping hand. And no, we was down the fuck here. They was way the fuck here. That just got us somewhere closer. And we still wasn't close enough. right? And at the snap of a finger, he done reversed shit from 1965. He done reversed the bill that said they couldn't hang a nigga. Now you can hang a nigga. He done freed 1,500 people that went up there trying to hang Mike Pence, right? So we know what time it is in America. Same thing it's been for the last 400 years. This time, though, we in a privileged position with power and a little bit of paper to cash in on this shit and get our foot in the door to where we can mobilize, do shit like we doing right here, enterprise, become entrepreneurs and businessmen, think with that type of mentality and build up our community in the way it should go.
I'm kind of excited to see all of this unravel. I feel like with all the sudden changes and all the uproars and all of these conversations, it's finally bringing to the forefront what's already been there and issues that already needed to be addressed and fixed properly. Goodness, that was deep. But I really think also it's a distraction what he got going on and the way he's moving so fast, getting all these things taken care of is just like very interesting too. How like just over the years we've had to like wait so long for changes, and now this man gets into office and he is moving with a mission to get these things knocked off. I'm like, is he paying off debts, like trying to pay people off? Like I said, I would do this, take care of that, taking care of the stuff that he already wanted to do before. I was seeing like for DEI back in 2017, I think it was, he was like, he was saying that it like costs too much to have the transgender people. Of course, that's probably just what he said publicly, but he was like saying that it costs too much for transgender people to be within the military, and the DEI is what kind of helped them be a part of it. So like that was like his kind of mission then. So like he's just doing stuff that he already wanted to do, knocking that stuff out. But it's definitely a bigger picture. Definitely think it's a distraction. Shoot, and it's just time to work. It's time to work. Like it's just showing everything's exposed, and I kind of like it. This is the first time I've ever been really so engaged in issues like this, that in regards to the government. I was usually and within our voting structures, like I'm far removed from a lot of this stuff, but with all the uproar, it's bringing me to my attention, and I'm kind of excited to see it, and I'm excited to see what kind of shift it will make.
What he's doing right now is definitely to try to further divide the country. As a people, conversations like this, topics like these are very important. And like we all been saying from other topics, we pretty much just need to get together and just be our own unit and really just figure out what's the direction, what's the agenda, like Doc said, like for real. Because with everything that's starting to unveil, it seems like pretty much it's us against them. Like, I know we've been saying that Black Lives Matter and all this, all that, but we still committing acts against each other that's ungodly. It's just not right. And it's definitely to, we all have our own free will, of course, but when you got people struggling every day with their own battles, their own problems and dilemmas, like that's where that also provides further divide from us as a people. Because if they ain't got no type of assistance, they're not gonna really try to listen to nothing for real that nobody else got to say, because they so caught up in their ways. It's like what you just saying right now is pretty much is just your opinion, your vice, but I gotta pay this bill and I ain't got this money for, you know what I'm saying? So like, can you help me that right now? You know what I'm saying? But us being not so trustworthy of people, you know what I'm saying? Who am I to give you my money and not knowing what you about to do with that money? But that's just because of the disconnect. And it's just crazy, man, that we all, everybody been saying these things and it's just like, wow, like Floyd said, fucking hanging. That's just wow. That's just crazy. Like, it's really time to focus on us. You know, really come together. Get you a gun. Get you a legal gun. I'm a legal gun owner in Maryland. I need to get my DC. I need to get it everywhere. Like, Trump did say that he was going to try to make it where as though having the different licenses in different states and all this and all that, he was going to try to make it where it's like that was pretty much an abolished thing. Like, if you had a gun, you can pretty much go everywhere with it. I don't know how true that is. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know how true that is, but that would
Yeah.
be, I guess, not a bad thing to me, regardless of all that other shit he doing. None of that shit. That shit is just crazy. But that wouldn't be a bad thing. But at the end of the day, I don't know about that either, because then it would be like Wild Wild West out this jump. Everybody just having a gun everywhere they want to go. Everybody just having a gun everywhere they don't want to go. That sounds like pretty much like martial law to me.
This what I was telling my man Mark Chopper. Salute to Mark.
Mark Chopper.
Yeah, when this thing first was brought up, you know, everybody from the gun community was. Now I'm a felon. I can't get a gun till 2030, right?
Wow.
Legally. Damn, when you really think about it, because I guess they do it based on the max. I don't know. Don't give me the line. I think they do it like based on the maximum amount of time. The max what I would have had was 20 years. It was a 5 to 20. So I think they max it out and then you eligible. Some shit like that. When you couple the gun laws, right, with the immunity for the police officers, right, this and that, when they pull your black ass over, look at Philando Castile, rest in peace. I had a great relationship, I still do, with his mother, right? He was a legal firearm owner. And when he told the officer, I have my legal firearm, here's my license, da 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 da, that scared motherfucker lit him up like a Christmas tree, right? Shot his ass, filled him up. The baby in the back seat 2 inches away would have had a bullet in his head, right? Because this cop, the guy tell you, I got it on me legally. It ain't even, you don't even see it. It ain't in my hand, nothing. The guy just starts shooting, right? And so what scares me for you and Mob Chopper and all my guys is legit is that they're going to create these laws that we think, just like the Constitution, that we think benefit us because we're American citizens, right? But this country wasn't built and predicated for people to look like you and I. We was 3/5 of a human when they wrote that shit. So this shit that we think is going to be inclusive to us is going to get us a hole in our head. We like, nah, Trump just passed the law. I got my paper, bow, 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 bow. And because there's immunity, blanket immunity for police officers, guess what's going to happen? Nothing to them. It was an accident. I feared for my life, right? Oh, okay, cool. He's not a bad guy. People make mistakes.
Not only people like him. Remember the situation in Georgia a few years back where they hunted the dude down in the pickup truck, like
Oh,
civilian type activity. You know what I'm saying? That's basically that allowed all of that.
Man, this fire right here, man. I hope more people are actually listening in. Then you got my good man just came in, and he dropping jewels. But let me tell you, get back to the original question. Remember history. If you don't know your history, you definitely gonna repeat it. Like it's just what it is, right? I want y'all to start studying more about Hitler, right? And I know when you hear that name, you know you think that this worst person. You got to know the history of a person like Hitler and understand how people in this regime, how they actually follow what happened with this guy right here, man. Right. And so they use these scare tactics. Most people, black, white, whatever, if you would have asked them November the 1st and 2nd and the 3rd, like, do you think that Trump is going to help our economy more than this Democratic party that's coming in? Most of us, if you want to be solid, you're going to say, yeah, I did believe that. Do you think that Trump is going to make sure that this country is a little bit safer than this Democratic Party that we have right here? Most people, if you're being solid, you're going to say, yeah, I do believe that. So what you got to do is understand that these type of people, right, these dictators, they born, but they more so made, man. We are making this guy into that, right? While he's using these scare tactics, all these type of things. And what we're doing is we are willing to sell our integrity. We are willing to sell everything that we have because money, right? Bring the jobs back. Put the tariffs on here. Put all these walls up, right? We need that, man. We want our money. Get these Spanish speaking people out of here, man. They taking y'all jobs, all this type of stuff, right? So we're gonna sell out because we think the money is coming back. Then you start thinking about, oh man, I don't want nobody blowing up my school, right? I don't want nobody coming in and killing my babies. I want they put little things in there about, man, hey man, do you want your daughter going in the bathroom with another? And I'm with half of the stuff. Like some of the stuff actually makes sense to me. I'm a father, right? But they use that to build these dictators up so that you don't even realize that you selling everything. You didn't sold everything because you only thinking, you got this laser focus of, man, I need my money to be right. I want to be safe. So they just keep pushing that stuff. And people like Hitler did it first, right? And then when they build these people up to be so big that by the time you look around and you realize, like, dang, I don't have nothing left. Like they took everything from me because we put these people on these pedestals. We give them all of this free reign. We hide behind stuff like Democrats. I'm sorry, democracy and all these other words that half of us don't even know what we even saying when we say this type of stuff. By the time they build themselves up, man, we look around, we have absolutely nothing. And that's exactly what they did. That's what that party did. That's how they became so big like they did. They got behind this dude who came in and made them really think that he was coming in to make sure that they were safe, make sure that their value systems was all good, make sure that their money was all good, and everything like that. Now you have this dude. And in history, he looks at as the worst person in the world. How did he get to that place? That's what's happening right now, man. So we got to wake up. We got to educate ourselves and understand what's happening right in front of us. And most of us really don't want to wake up, man. Let me tell you, when you cut the lights on and you start looking around, you see roaches and rats and snakes and all that type of stuff. Some of us want to just cut that light back off, man. I'd rather be blind than see what's really going on, see who I'm voting in, who I'm eating with, who I'm sleeping with, who I'm talking with. And that's what's happening right now in America, man. We the lights got cut on, and you got to see that it's a roach and a rat and a snake right there. And then most of us are saying, man, cut that light back off, please, man. I'd rather be in the dark. So that's my take on this whole thing, man. But this is a powerful conversation, bro. Like all day solid, man. My man Floyd, what's up, good man?
Hey, what's good, Doc?
I want to add something real quick. And so I forget my train of thought. It's not necessarily us. And I say us, I mean African American. If
Yeah.
if you take a poll, you look at any document, and as far as who voted for who, you see where our vote went. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like a lot of these conversations, they definitely don't have our interests at heart, but they don't really necessarily, it's not our fight, because ain't nobody fighting for us. So we don't necessarily need to incorporate, we need to isolate. We got enough, everything we do, we fuel everybody's culture, everybody's bank. We are the driving force. That's why they always talk about boycott this, boycott that, the black dollar, et cetera, et cetera. If we were to put all of that energy into our own interest, then we could get what we asking for. We keep asking for somebody else to give it to us or banking on a party to take us to the
But
promised land. So to speak.
great point, right? But to
Yeah.
Doc's point, right, of bringing up the how people are implementing the acts of Hitler. But what I would rebuttal is like, who's gonna be our Winston Churchill? Who is the Franklin D. Roosevelt that he allied with? Like, who is gonna be our leadership? Who's gonna be our person to combat these evils at bay?
Exactly.
Hitler
Exactly.
got his playbook. Hitler got his playbook from the United States government. He got all his tactics from the states, and how they treated slaves, and how they went about all of that. So all they're doing is doing what they've always been doing. You know what I'm saying? That's
But
not who we should be relying on.
okay. So I raised you this, right? The genius of a Hitler, the genius of the United States is that they work with allies. Like so many of our people, the talking point, right, is that we don't need DEI, we don't need wealth, we don't need these things. We can just do it ourselves. Like they doing it, but they had number one a 400-year, by the way, head start where they were able to build an infrastructure with cohesion and collaboration across the globe. Right? There is no hold on. There's not a country of nigger. There's not a country of Africa. That don't exist. So like we are our own man within a whole land, right? That we not even acknowledged in. So the idea, while it is honorable and it sounds great, it's just unrealistic at this juncture, right? And so we need to be able to take advantage of the opportunities that are available. And with that, build our own infrastructure, build our own nation as you would, right? But at the same time, while we sit here going back and forth about this, they creating a bill, right? Andy Ogles just proposed a bill to give Trump a third term. So they're going to take out all of the 1 and 2. He can't be done. So this way he'll not. Yeah, people forgot he said, y'all never have to vote on me again, right? So while we sit and try to figure out, is it going to be Target or Walmart? They sneaking in bills to make sure he never got to leave that office.
That's now he really talking about, because those called distractions, man. You know, that's the smoke and the mirrors that we really talking about, right? So all the things from the sports and gladiator wars. Listen, I'm telling you, man, history is so vicious because it shows you how they do this type of stuff. And the thing is that a lot of people that talk about, you gotta follow the dollar, bruh. Like, you gotta follow the dollar. And if you can't follow the dollar, you ain't got no argument anyway. You know, I ask a lot, especially my brothers, man, my sisters, man, because we got to educate ourselves. So I like to tell people, like, what does India, South Africa, Russia, right, China, what do they have in common? And when you ask that question to most people, they can't even answer that question. Those are the nations that are working together right now to be the true superpower that makes the United States look like absolutely nothing, right? But how many of us have actually either traveled to Africa, not necessarily have to put our feet on the soil, but we got the internet, we got everything. How many people have traveled to Africa to a point where you see what actually was going on in Africa, right? And then you start thinking about Gaddafi, right? Right? Go back and start studying this stuff, man, because we still got a nation that we are a part of. This is a part of us that we haven't even tied into, right? And once we actually listen, there are more black people, brown people on this planet than anything else. They have to keep us apart. They have to, right? Because once we pull our money together, man, Floyd, you said something real powerful, right? You said we have to figure out like how to kind of do our thing here because we ain't got our own country. You know what we don't have? We ain't got no unity. You know, we spend $2 trillion into the economy every year. 2 trillion. I ain't talking about Africans. I'm not talking about I'm not even talking about my good Jamaican brothers. I'm talking about the USA Negroes that we know, your brother, your uncle, your sister, your aunt. $2 trillion. Do you know what you could do with $2 trillion? You change everything. You change everything. 100, I forget what they said, like $100 billion in the hair industry. And we own half of 1% of the hair industry, of the beauty industry. Come on, man. If we're gonna have this conversation,
But who
right?
lead us to that
And we can't
salvation?
have it here. But if we're gonna have it, we gotta have it,
Yeah,
and we
we
gotta
gotta
be
have it.
solid.
Facts.
Yeah, we
Because
gotta
we on a
have it.
whole
Nah,
nother
for real.
level, bro.
Yeah,
Only
this,
thing holding us back for real is us. And yeah, do we need DEI? Absolutely. We should. Like he said. Y'all seen that video? If you got 400 steps on me, I don't care how fast I am. The chances of me beating you and you can hit 100 J's and be 700 pounds, you probably still gonna win. You got 400 steps on me. You understand what I'm saying? So it's cool to have all those type of things. But at the end of the day, are we ready for the race? We ain't ready for the race, bro.
we ain't ready.
That's what I'm talking about. You understand what I'm saying? Like, let's get ready for this race, man. This was powerful, Trey, man. I wish I ain't had to leave, man, because this is the type of stuff I like to dialogue about, man. And y'all some solid brothers and sisters, man. Let's keep this conversation going, man. You know what I mean? And let's think
put
about
together.
our agenda, man. Our agenda, man.
Yeah, we definitely need to do this live in front of the people too.
Yeah, I'm
Respect.
with that.
Hey, you know, I'm just trying to build a consistency, man. Just keep people coming. You know what I'm saying? You know how it is, Floyd. Once they come in the pool, you hear me? It get crazy. Everybody love it once they get here. It's just me getting everybody here. You feel me?
I had a wild, all the days, man. I've been running around doing a whole lot of shit, like legislative. It's been busy. And I was like, man, I gotta hop in the job because Trey and be talking about some solid shit. So we need in there. You know what I'm saying?
Even
So
your
yeah,
points about the cannabis bills, I want you to, you know what I'm saying? come over here. You know what I'm saying? We segue. I still got to come to your podcast, and we can just keep getting the message out every single way we can. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the
Hell yeah.
movement. This is a part of
Yeah.
the agenda.
Nah,
Us keep coming together and communicating.
for sure. Because once we get this shit together, y'all know what the next step is, right? Gotta take it to them. Because every time we get somebody in that leader position, what happens? They take them out, right?
That's my continuous question of who is our new age leader, man.
Like you said earlier, right? Whoever gonna do it, we gotta stand behind that man, and we gotta be willing, or that woman, and we gotta be willing to go to bat for him. Because even
But
though,
You gotta
we
take
all,
go ahead,
sides.
Floyd. Go ahead, Floyd.
in my opinion, we all are. The difference between us and a Winston Churchill is that he had the blowhorn. Pause. He had the microphone. Well, in 2025, we all got a microphone. We all got a platform where we could utilize our voices. The craziest thing is when people say, "Well, Floyd, ain't nobody listening to me." Here's the thing. I posted the other day a party bus I was on doing video work, girls shaking ass, all of this. 700-800 views in my stories, right? More than that, I start throwing in snips from this podcast. Because while you watching me, let me give you something to watch. Let me throw some medicine in there with the candy. Because look, sometimes I might hold the spliff in my hand just so the young niggas be like, he cool, I'm gonna listen to him. And then when they listening to me, I'm giving them all of this other shit. They think I'm about to be over here talking about some bitches, and I'm talking about some shit they need to know. But maybe they wouldn't listen to me if I did approach them in a way that they felt like they could relate to. And
You
so
gonna blind
we
them
all
with the
got to use
diamonds,
our
man.
voice, whatever our platforms are. If it's 5 people listening, if it's 500, if it's 5,000, if it's 5 million. And we got to know it's power in the tongue, pause, the words we using, and that we do have an effect on people. Like, it might not be a million people, but it might be that 1 or 2 youngins that heard what you were saying, or that young lady heard what you were saying, and you might have changed their life, and who knows what they go on to be and what they go on to do. You know what I mean? So that's the effect. It's the ripple effect. And so we the Churchills, we the Roosevelts, we the Lincolns, we the Malcolms, we the Martins, that's us. Yeah. That's us. And we got an opportunity to let people hear what we got to say. And we got to have, like Doc said, are you ready? Like, so when they put that camera on your face, the camera in my face, what do you want to say? You got something to say? Or you just talking? Because if you got something to say, it's people that's looking for leadership and guidance that's going to follow and fall in line.
Man, I just want to say this, man, to like this powerful, man. Like, for real, this was definitely my dinner, for real, right? But I want us to get away from doing one thing. Stop saying stuff like, man, we about to build a village, right? You don't build a village, man. You build a tribe, and tribes make villages, right? So when we looking for those next Malcolms and Martins and Churchills or all these other individuals who we consider great leaders, man, I want us to start right in our own houses, man. Right in your own, from your front door to your back door. You know what I'm saying? Your sons, your daughters. If you ain't got kids, your nieces, your nephews. Earlier, like the cousin Wayne said, a youngin' around your way, man, that, you know what I'm saying, that you've been walking past so much and know he foul. Like, let's build our tribes up so that we can eventually, my tribe, the sister tribe, that becomes the village right there. Right. So we got to start doing that, man. So that's, I just want to say that before I get up out of here, because I feel sometimes when we had these conversations, we leave, and some people hear this, they anxiety go through the roof, because you start feeling like, damn, man, we're gonna be in the same situation 2026. Nah, we not. Literally tomorrow, we won't be in the same situation. If somebody heard this and be like, you know what? Shoot, let me read up on Hitler, right? Let me read up on Churchill. Let me read up on some of these individuals. Let me read up on the Great Depression. Let me read up on some of these things. Let me educate myself. Let me put myself in a different position. Now, let me throw that information to my son, to my daughter, to my niece, to my nephew. Start building them up. Start building ourselves up, man. Because a lot of times we come to the party and we ain't nowhere near ready. I walk around, dudes don't even know their credit score. You know what I'm saying? Dudes that got free healthcare ain't never been to the dentist, never been to the doctor. And I ain't trying to get too deep right now, but I'm just saying we got to start with the small things, man. Like the brother said, you don't build a wall, man. You put one brick in at a time. And it's time for us to set that first brick and set it perfect, because we've been slipping. And I'm tired of seeing us slipping like that, man. That's why I know I'm going to die for this type of this cause and for this work, man, because that's what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? There's so many individuals who not trying to get it. But guess where I'm starting at? With my son, with my daughter, with my nieces, with my nephews. I'm building my tribe so I can come and join y'all tribe, man, so we can get a village, man. So I just wanted to drop that.
It was another executive order that Trump signed that I wanted to show y'all.
We have an executive order demanding that grown men stop wearing skinny jeans.
That's a big one, huh? A lot of people are waiting for this for years, for decades.
Throw a little human there one time for the game.
I was about to say, this man has to be stopped, young. He has to be stopped, young.
I don't know if that shit real or not. Trump's so crazy, nigga.
I was like, dog, he has to be stopped, bro.
You have to think about it. Our ancestors built America. The world is rocking because of the Black Americans' resilience in our home country. Africa is siding with China, like you said. Okay, yeah. I think she's rebuttaling to Dr. Majid. Then she also said, okay. Show us, bro. We are home and always been home. It's no reason to flee somewhere else. We need to make shit shake right here.
It's been so much time and effort and energy put into separating us, not only from each other, but from ourselves and who we are and our own identity. Like part of the power that you see other ethnic groups have is like if you see a white guy ask him about his family, he'll say, oh yeah, I'm 3/5 Irish on my great-grandfather's side, and my mother's from the old country in England. And they know so much shit about their self. They know their great-grandfather was a mason and an architect and this, and so it's in their blood, and they keep this tradition. It means something. To us, none of that shit mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. Some of us try to figure out who our daddy is. You see what I'm saying? So some of us, our mother don't even want to talk to us because we look like the nigga, right? I mean, all of this type of shit, we dealing with internal, the term is so used over and over again, but it's true. The generational trauma, right? Somewhere in 2025, I'm internalizing and manifesting emotions that were planted 400 years ago by a family member I've never seen, never met, never heard of, right? And it's just that deep. And people don't, I think sometimes we say, oh, that's you making excuses, this and that. If you think I'm making excuses by acknowledging that, you just don't know enough about yourself, number one.
It's by design to make us all, individualize each other, man, and not look at each other as family and, you know what I'm saying, the same.
Yeah.
Because once that happens, we all come together.
I feel what she's saying about, we need to do it right here, but I'm gonna be real with you. I have been to Africa. You get off that motherfucker, it's people look just like you, Trey look just like me. If you don't start speaking English, they don't know that you're not from that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe how you dressed or whatever, but even now with the internet, shit is so blended, you never know Africans do be dressed like Africans, but that's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sometimes. But some of them got the...
No, I'm not saying it's just bad, but you can tell a Nigerian, nigga.
Yeah. Got it. Jeans.
Shout out to my Nigerian niggas, man.
Yeah, shout
out to Wale niggas.
They just be grinding, man. I ain't gonna lie. They be grinding.
They definitely be grinding. Pause. They get some money. They get to the money.
We got up next, man, the Sice report. Finally, let's talk about Target's decision to roll back its DEI initiatives, including support for Black-owned businesses. This has sparked calls for boycotts, but not everyone agrees with this approach. Panel, is this boycott the right move, or could it end up hurting the very Black-owned businesses and brands we are trying to support?
Okay, so the overall decision that led to the boycott is understandable because I feel like, even myself included, like I really started shopping at Target a lot more once I started to see a lot of the inclusion with a lot of different collections month after month, season after season of different Black and brown owned businesses, a lot of them small businesses. I remember when I was a kid, there was like this lemonade of this little girl who came out, and I was just so excited. I used to support it and love it. I stopped seeing it on the market. But yeah, it's just things like that is like, wow. Then right before Black History Month is very interesting as well. Point taken though. But yeah, and then as far as the boycotting, I mean, shoot, that's just what comes with the territory. That's where we're at now. Like, if we don't agree with it, we're speaking up now. So I feel like every establishment, anyone needs to be an understanding of that. So I don't think it's a bad stance, a bad move. Hopefully it makes a shift. But I mean, it's just the point blank. That's kind of just the stance that gets showed where they stand. Like, even if it was to be reversed.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a boycott. Shit, my sister had to go to Target the other day and went right up in there. I gave her 3 other options. She said, no, I'm just going to Target. And we pull in the parking lot, it's filled with people that look just like us. It's hard to get people to understand the significance of this type of stuff. Like, I don't know. I don't think that, well, I don't know. I won't say I don't think. But I don't know if there's somebody sitting at Target saying, you know, fuck them niggas. I don't know if that's the case, right? I don't want to put that on impulse. I think so many of these corporations be so tone deaf, right? Like she just was talking about all these different programs and different things they was doing to be include minority businesses, black and brown, right? Okay, cool. When something like this happens, maybe they think they have to cut it, right? Maybe they don't know there's an option to go back against the system and do their own thing. Maybe they do. I don't know. I mean, this country has operated and thrived on our black backs forever. I mean, since the creation of it, right? There was no nation without us. And so when we see them, of course, it's advantageous. 2020 taught a lot of them that if they just go ahead and side with the black people, how much money they could bring in. Target was able to capitalize on the fact that black families looked at Target different than Walmart. We looked at Walmart like the American store, aka the white store, and Target was our store, right? It was in minority neighborhoods. You see a Target in Forestville, you ain't gonna see that Walmart in Forestville or District Heights. You see the Target there on Marlboro Pike. You'll see that Target in Northeast around Trinidad. You ain't gonna see that Walmart in Trinidad, right? And so Ivy City. So in our head, psychologically, we thinking, okay, they with us until it's time to put their money where their mouth is. And all of a sudden, they was away from it. Now, I don't know. Again, like I said, I don't know if tomorrow they'll say, hey, we made a mistake. We didn't realize what this was. Blah, blah, blah. Let's correct it. I don't know, but it's not a new thing. You know, boycotting is something. When we talk about the Martin Luther King, when we talk about the civil rights movement, I had the pleasure to study and learn from some of the people that was actually involved in that whole process of creating these boycotts, the sit-ins and the bus boycotts. One of my good friends was this guy named James Bevel. If you ever see, and he was a mentor and a teacher. If you ever see the movie Selma, Common plays James Bevel. James Bevel was the one organizing the group. Bevel wanted me to move to Alabama with him and start a school. I still was in the streets. I couldn't understand what he was talking about. I was 19. He wanted me to come down there with him and start helping the Katrina refugees and shit like that. But my point is, I wasn't ready for that shit quite yet. But this has been something that has worked, and we don't know enough to know that it works. They've done a good job, the country or whatever. This is why they want to stop certain things from being taught in schools, so people don't know that they got the power, right? Because if you knew that the people that was actually the majority in those sit-ins and those marches were 16 and 17-year-old kids, if you knew that these kids, that a lot of the youngins in the church stood up and said, we'll do this because we can't get arrested, right? And they went ahead and got hosed, and they went ahead and got the dog sicked on them. They did the fight, and they the ones that shifted the tide and changed the tide in American history. But if you knew that they was 15, 16, 17 years old, 14 years old, you would know that you got that same capability and even responsibility to move us forward. But so they took that away, so now you don't know that. And so now we looking at boycott like, oh, that's just something they doing now, and it's for clout or it's a fad. But in actuality, it works. It's how Martin Luther King got his name. Right, we gonna fuck with that. It's why they killed Martin Luther King, right? I hope that document that they put out talks about why they killed Martin Luther King, right? Because as long as he was talking about we shall overcome, it was fine. But when he started talking about the Vietnam War, when he started leading the Poor People's Campaign, teaching the people down in Memphis how to boycott and how to do things, take money out the American dollars, the big corporation dollars, all of a sudden it became a problem. And they blew his head off because of it. And let Jesse Jackson point the direction. But that's a whole nother story. I hope all that shit come out. But that's a whole nother story. But the point is, we got the power to do it. And we got to look at history and figure out what worked before and what didn't work, make the adjustments. And it ain't going to be all of us. We can't stop saying that, man, we all got to come together. It ain't going to be us all coming together. We all ain't going to come together. There's a reason why people talk about the 5%ers, right? And if you don't know, I'm gonna real quick. But basically, 85% of y'all are dumb as shit. That's the black and white. I mean, y'all just don't get it, right? Ignorance is bliss, and you living your life like that. 10% know everything that's going on. They the ones that's behind the scene orchestrating it, but for their own benefit and profit against the 85. And then there's the 5%, right? The poor righteous teachers, the ones that know the information, the ones that know the knowledge, the ones that got the game. And they give their life to try to educate and bring up the 85, right? And so it ain't gonna be all of us. It's never been everybody. It's never been that everybody. It's never been that, right? It's always been a select few that's stronger together. And that's what we gotta be.
It's definitely not going to be everybody, you know what I'm saying? But as long as we do come together for the selected few that do, I feel like the plan will work, regardless of whatever they're trying to do or their mission of what they're trying to do. We got to stick together, pretty much, for the ones that's willing to take the next step further to do it. Boycotting is very important just because we show them a side of us that's not agreeing with what they agree with. You know what I'm saying? So it's always good just to have that type of energy, or just that the opposite side of the coin, just to be shown, because we don't want no yes man, and everybody's not going to be a yes man. That's why I agree with Floyd with the everybody's not going to go, because you got some people that are very comfortable in their with what they have right now. So, you know, whether you are blackish or you really are a real street nigga or whatever the fuck you want to call it, everybody ain't gonna go with the plan. And even if everybody go with the plan, who's to say that everybody's gonna make it? That's kind of like fairy tale. In a better world, yeah, everybody should be able to make it. But at the end of the day, we all know that's not true. Are we willing to step up to the fight? Pretty much. Are we willing to step up to the fight? Other than that, we can have this conversation all day and every day. And it's good to have these conversations pretty much. So we can be informed, we can form each other, and we can form the next generation.
Nah, for sure. I ain't gonna lie, Floyd. You hit a great point though, because my first official employment in life was at that Target at Forestville. You know what I'm saying?
Mine too.
I got my little work permit, you know what I'm saying, from school, man. I went up there. I was working that joint all through high school pretty much. I learned a lot of life lessons up there. Man, I went through beefs in the parking lot up that joint, all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? But Target definitely employed me. Even when I was rapping, I was like, man, I had to go get a little quick job, man. Target employed me again. It's like, but I can't use that anecdotal evidence to, sway my opinion on what's going on.
What you think about it, Trey?
That is how they get me. I mean, that's how they had me. I shot with Target. I've been employed by Target. They didn't pay me. I wasn't super duper aware about all of the black businesses that they was actually implementing into the store. You know what I'm saying? I be just shopping. And a lot of the times I don't shop. I ain't gonna lie. I just get the money up. So I know when I'm giving the money up, it's like, we going to Target. I have no issue with Target. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much Target got all the toys now. Like, we don't got Toys R Us. We don't got nothing like that. So I be hitting up Target for the youngins sometimes. So
yeah. And I didn't mean to call Miss Tabitha a bitch. I didn't mean to refer to her like that. I just be talking like. I didn't mean to call her a bitch. I just was. This is my vernacular sometimes.
Yeah, just period about the brand of it's like, will we all sell it for one person? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she tripping. She tripping. she gotta get a little website for that season. So fuck that. We ain't about to fuck the revolution up for Paprika. That shit can't happen, dog. Like, we can't. Like, what the fuck are we talking about, dog? We can't teach Target a little lesson real quick. We not saying this is forever. We saying we just gonna spank their motherfucking pockets real quick so they know they can't step out of line. They gotta get with us. That's it. The same way they give us nigga wake up calls all the time. We need to give them a nigga wake up call. Nigga, that's it.
Because every time we look up one of these high fashion brands that's owned by these other people that's not like us, that we love to give our money to, they show us every single time. Every quarterly, they show us somebody that think they black and rich is thinking they gonna get the special treatment, and then the world show them, brother, we don't trust y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we don't know you, whoever you are. You know what I'm saying?
I about to say, I've been looking at ASAP Rocky trial all day. They about to barbecue him.
Man, ASAP Rally, man, they got that boy went up on that thing.
I watched it too. Pause, boy. I said,
pause.
This is
He went up on that stand, dog.
It's a rap, Rocky.
It's like, and at the same time, it's like when I'm in these spaces of getting into this philanthropy and all of this, it's like, man, a lot of people in these spaces is congratulating these behaviors, and then I'm transitioning from other sides where, like you said, I've been off the porch for like so long. It's like certain morals is gonna always be with me. There's certain things I might have to always do because life is just life. You can't rewrite things you've done, places you've been, who you are. So you know, you gotta live with it as a man, regardless. But it's you look at these situations and it'd be like, dang, man, Shorty got violated, and is he supposed to not care because he married to Rihanna and he at the top of his life?
Right.
Per se, if he tried to kill him, and you know what I'm saying, all of that stuff. And then the Dirks and the Young Thug, just to everybody, it's like, dang, man. I don't wish down fall on none of them, but it's like it's not unexpected for all of them to be going through the same trials and tribulations that everybody else is going through. They just had a spotlight. So I don't know if the world understand that this is an everyday thing. This is not just these guys. Everybody, this is happening for everybody. So do y'all feel the same way about everybody?
Right.
Or do y'all just feel this way about these guys?
Right.
And I just think our culture get that perception a little mixed up, because they'll be rooting for a certain side in their hometown, and then they'll be rooting for Young Thug. So it'd be like, is you, you know what I'm saying? Is you non-violent or is you violent? Because it get real tricky. You know, especially with these people we don't know. It's like, I don't know Dirk, and I don't wish no downfall. I don't wish nothing. I just watch the shit play out. Tory Lanez, R. Kelly, Diddy, all these niggas. You know what I'm saying? I never have a dog in the fight, because my introduction to all of these niggas is fucking music, movies, and I always understood where the line was at. Now, I'll be 100. Sports, I'll be a little bit more murky. You can catch me with sports. That's how I can identify people with music and actors. Because I love sports players and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I identify with them more. I even look past certain characteristics because I rock with the sports player. But music and movies and other things, and I'm willing to always give my bias out with that. But with the music and the movies, I always have my line with these guys. I never listen to his lyrics and be thinking, yay, I'm thinking me. When he's saying something with I'm thinking about what relates to me, and I'm like, I done got out the car, I got the girl, or that's always been that's just my mindset. You know what I'm saying? I love somebody like Gucci, but regardless of like the beef stuff, when he's saying certain stuff, I'm putting that lingo on my and anything else, I rock with him for like the rappers, Wayne, all for versatility. But it ain't because I think they real niggas.
Right.
That's just me.
Right.
Like, what?
Right. You ain't looking up to him.
I never get caught up in thinking Gucci, Wayne, Kendrick, Drake, Birdman, J. Cole, Wale, any of these niggas. If I don't know them personally, I ain't never get caught up with thinking they was real niggas. You know what I'm saying? Now I might argue certain things about their talent and debates, but I'm not gonna be like, nah, why he realer than him? Like, nah, spectrum is different. I'll say he realer than him because he played defense, so he shot a game-winning shot, because that's just a different competitiveness of athleticism. But as far as like the street and music and all, nah. I never got caught up in that. You know what I'm saying? So with the DEI stuff, it's like, it's hard for me sometimes to identify with people that I don't know. Because like what everybody be saying about the homegrown, focus on, I'll be trying to focus on everybody I know.
Yeah.
You know, I get into it with all my people, Because all my arguments with everybody, I'm gonna get into it with everybody I know, dog. It's just in my personality, because sometimes whatever we doing together, it's just gonna come to a point where my expectations may be too high, or your expectations may be too high for me, and we gonna clash on that. But it ain't really gonna be too much on no, you know what I'm saying? No shit. Because all my hood, everybody from like some hood street, they already know me. Like, my second half of life is gonna be always idealistic arguments. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody saying something in a tone. It ain't. I believe in not putting myself, giving people access to be, you know what I'm saying, niggas on tough shit.
Yeah.
Because that's just what I come from that shit, so I know that I solved a lot of problems like that, and I be trying to come over to a new leaf. So
Elevate.
Yeah, man. So it's like I always cross the line of who I am and idol worshiping based off talents. And yeah, I guess I can't idolize Target for them giving me employment, because they gonna give anybody that file that application employment. You feel me? So sometimes I gotta just be realistic. Like, oh, that's my first job, nigga. Fuck that, nigga. You could have worked anywhere. That's what I'm talking about, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely put that shit in a different perspective. Because I always gave them a little love for that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
But sooner or later, if these corporations is withdrawn from us, you know what I'm saying? We have to like wake up.
It's all it's the only thing that's left to do. It's the only thing that's left for. But it's like, even when you look at the history of other cultures and shit, civilizations, they got their independence from somewhere, and it took them some years, hundreds of years, for them to build up to what we look at them. Even if you look at it in America, if you look at the white people in America getting their independence from England, it wasn't, okay, we independent now, it's fucking Manhattan skyscrapers and shit, right? They had to build up to what we know to be the superpower as America. And they did that on our backs and with our blood. And so if we the special ingredient, then we got everything it takes, and we got the same infrastructure to do it. But only difference is we need the time, just like they had time. And we comparing ourselves to other people is fucking us up, because we looking at everybody else and we saying, well, look what they doing. Look at the problem with black people this, the problem with black people that. The problem with black people is y'all keep talking about the problems with black people.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all keep on hating yourself so much, you can't even see the progress we making. Fuck complaining, bitching, and moaning. Let's strategize and figure out how, okay, well, he good at this and she good at that. And fuck me competing with them. Let's come together. Okay, I'm gonna do this here, you gonna do this, you do that, And now we got that superpower that we talk about all these other cultures having. They not doing this shit by themselves, one person. They mastered the art of collaboration and working across the board to get shit done. And that's what we gotta do.
I think a lot of us definitely gotta understand the I hate to use this term, but martyr, being, or self-sacrifice of sometimes our lifetime ain't the timeline.
Right.
Sometimes some of the work you putting in ain't the work you're gonna live to see. And we just sometimes have to understand that is okay, my nigga.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's okay, big dog, that you the one. I had this battle with myself every day when I have too many high expectations on people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to pull people along. When I get like, man, if you gotta do whatever you gotta do, hey, that weight is on you, big dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For you to be that person. So
for a reason.
We have I think we have an issue with grasping with that, of putting in the work and not receiving the benefits, not knowing that, hey, the future generation may receive our benefits, but they also gonna be putting in a different kind of work, because what we don't understand sometimes is that we are receiving a lot of benefits while we putting in this work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of niggas ain't had Macs and shit, man, and laptops and phones and iPhone, any of this shit.
All of this shit.
You know
Camera moving with me and shit.
It's a different kind of access, because we know we ain't created.
Nah, for real.
So it was some way we got into the door. So it's in the stuff that we are creating. When do we start, holding it close, figuring out how to, I'll give a nod to Dr. Majid, figure out how to build our tribe and then build our village. You feel me?
Yeah, but you doing it, Trey. Like, to whom much is given, much is required. And you talking 5 minutes, you can tell you not no dumb nigga. Like, you can tell you got your head on straight, you educated. Like, that ain't everybody. So, like, you got this gift. It's on you to do something what you doing, like, right now. I see you got the sports joint. I see you got the joint with the women. Like, it's on you to share your perspective and to offer people an opportunity to share their perspective with the world. And because of the reputation you have as in the individual, as a human, people going to look at this content that you're doing with a different type of eye and the ear, and they're going to automatically give it the benefit of the doubt and respect it because they respect you as a man.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's it right there.
So I know I definitely gotta, you know what I'm saying, continue to put the work in. Definitely love each and every one of y'all, man, for showing up, dog. I definitely love everything he said, but I can't lie. I can't do nothing without y'all. I can't even think about the process without it including everybody. I definitely appreciate those flowers because that's all I be trying to do every single. All right, everyone. We definitely put on a hot fire show. The panel was lit, man. Everybody came with fire, man. It's a wrap for the day, though. We talked about stuff from youth violence to reckless driving to political turmoil and corporate accountability. We covered everything from the ground up. Now, everybody, please don't forget to follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook at The Sice Room. I'm going to put everything to the side so y'all can subscribe and watch last episode. You feel me? Again, shout out to my panel. They came and did everything, man. We definitely invite everybody for future episodes. Please remember we here each and every Tuesday. So if you're willing to show up and speak your gospel, we definitely willing to listen and give you a chance, man. Sice Room.